I'd like if you could talk a little bit more about just this idea of setting your own standards as opposed to just going along with whatever the program is or whatever the school is doing or whatever other people are doing. Can you talk about just kind of because you talk about kind of this, I didn't watch the videos, but you have some videos on the character traits of polyglots. Could you maybe
Mhm.
talk about what those character traits are, but then maybe circle back to, you have some very particular character traits where you want to challenge yourself and you're not so concerned with what other people are doing.
Okay. So, yeah, my one bit of one foray into sort of statistical research I did back in Dubai about 5 or 6 years ago because, um, well, let's backtrack. I'm encountering polyglot as one of those words that like not everybody knows what it means. Polyglot is somebody who speaks lots of languages, and it's different from a multilingual person in the sense that my sons are to a certain degree multilingual. I raised them in a international environment, speaking multiple languages. They know French not because they ever chose to learn it, not because it was taught to them in a school. They just sort of got it, from the environment. So a multilingual person might know 2 or 3 languages because they grow up in a situation where those languages are used.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a polyglot is somebody who knows 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 languages more because they chose to learn these. They studied them either in school or taught them to themselves. And so there's a difference, I think, in the neural structure of the mind of a polyglot versus a multilingual person. And usually you get the polyglot skills later. And again, the most important thing is that it's a conscious choice. You
Mm-hmm.
decide to do it. And so there is something called there are various things called the Polyglot Society. There's something called the Polyglot Conference, which a good friend of mine is the main organizer for, and I'm the academic liaison for, which in the pre-COVID times, we went in a different country each year. So it started out in Budapest, and then it was in New York City, and then in Slovenia and in Greece and in Iceland and in Japan. It was supposed to be in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So each year it was, and it grew each year. And so we got, like ultimately like over 1,000 people coming who are just real. I mean, on the one hand, you can just call them language nerds, real language enthusiasts, people who want to learn languages. But
Mm-hmm.
there were all these sort of memes, I guess you call them, floating around that, polyglots are autistic, they're gay, they've got autoimmune, like they've got allergies. I mean, just all these like things that like people said, oh, just everybody was saying this. I'm like, I'm not those things. I'm a polyglot. I don't want people making these assumptions about me. So what if nobody else is going to do research about it? Maybe I'll do it. So I devised like a statistical survey of like character traits. What traits do you have? Are you left-handed? Are you right-handed? Are you colorblind? Are you musically talented? Are are you all sorts of questions like
Right.
this, and distributed that to the members of this polyglot society and also just in general, and got some cover groups and stuff, and got results and published a paper about that, and gave some presentations about that.